Hello and welcome back to my channel and to this video. Today I am going to show you how to assemble this pocket lapbook from Janie's Originals. The springtime one. It was on Janie's first show on Hobby Maker. So if you managed to get hold of it and haven't yet started to assemble it, then you can craft along with this video and assemble your book, or your pocket lapbook. Okay, so first of all, let's have a look at what comes in the pack. So this is your most important thing. This is the instruction booklet, okay, and you will need to keep that and refer to that at all times. So what else do we get? So I've got here some mixed fibers, some nice lace in there, this piece of sari ribbon. Those are things like your dangles or for putting through tags. So you've got some of those beautiful colours that tone in with the papers. Now, I would hazard a guess that not everybody's will be the same as this. It will be, you know, like those. You will also have a piece of wax thread. That's for binding the little notebook that comes that will go inside the lapbook. You've got a nice book plate, MDF book plate, a little MDF frame, and 4 MDF corners. And I think I've got a bonus little heart in there because it's not been popped out, which would be quite pretty. So I'm going to put those in there, so they'll be for putting on when we finish. And this, if you haven't seen these before, these are called, whoops, I'm losing it. That's called a bulb pin, and we will be using that to attach your dangle to your lapbooks. But we're going to put those back in there for safekeeping for now. These are pieces of cartridge paper, recycled cartridge paper that Janie uses in her kits, and that again is for the notebook that goes inside. You then have all the grey board pieces that you need. There's a bit of cutting involved, but we'll do that as we get to it. So it will basically look like these. These two will watercolor form flaps. This is going to be shorter because it's going to be cut down, and then it will fold kind of in like that. That's the kind of basic idea. Piece of fabric in there for the spines. So for joining all the pieces together, that's what this is for. And again, it will need to be cut down, but we'll go through that. And then we have, I think there's 8 printed pages. And this is where you can really decide what your notebook is, what your lapbook, sorry, is going to look like, because you'll choose which papers go where. So these are your 8 pattern papers. Oops, upside down. Really nice, super smooth paper. So those are your 8 printed papers. And then you get a printed sheet of ephemera. So these can be fussy cut out to use however you want in your lapbook. You get a sheet of beautiful quotes and sayings and words. Again, can be used however you choose in your book. You then get this is now on card. These are the pockets that you will need that are referred to in your instructions, and then some tags for you to put in the pocket. And then you get another piece of printed card, and this is for the cover of the notebook that will go inside the lapbook. Okay, so that's what comes in your pack. Now you will need a few things in order to help you join it all together, if you like, to assemble it. Janie recommends paper bindery glue. If you have it, great. If you don't, then you know what glue you've got. So I will be using the paper bindery glue. a ruler, a metal-edged ruler. Now, Janie knows this. I prefer to work in inches, but Janie always works in centimeters. So whereas a lot of the stuff I do, I use my board to work out my measurements. Can't do that on the here because this is inches. So I have this. This is again from Janie. This is a metal edge ruler with a grid on it. It's really good. So you will need if you've got one, a good craft knife, or if you're really steady, you can use your scissors. I've also got a small rotary cutter. That's for the fabric, but again, if you don't, you could use the scissors to cut your fabric. I will use a bone folder because I like my folds on my papers nice and crisp. Oh, and I've got a little spatula for my glue. It's a silicone spatula. Now, when you get to the making the notebook for the inside of the Lapbook, Janie gives you two alternatives. If you don't have something to punch holes with, you can just wrap the cord around. But I will be punching holes, so I've got a little hole there, and then I will need a needle in order to sew. It's a very simple, easy pamphlet stitch for the notebook. So there are a couple of other bits of kit that I will use, which are completely non-essential, but I have them, so I will use them and show you. So yeah, that's what we need. So we will get going with the first part of our Lapbook. We're going to start by cutting the panels for the Lapbook. So this is on page 2 of your instructions. You will need all 4 of the A6 panels and the 2 A7 panels. And you do need to cut these down. Janie suggests a safety knife. I don't have one of those. I just have my craft knife. You need a metal edge ruler and you need a self-healing mat. So we're going to look at instruction 1, which is where we need to take one of our A6 panels and we're going to cut this down because we need, this will be the short end here and it will give us the 2 spines here. So that's what we're doing. So it says we need to cut a 1.5 centimeter wide spine and a 1 centimeter spine. Okay, so the way I would do it, and the way I do it with this particular ruler, because it's got the grids on, to make sure I'm getting it straight, I will line this part of the ruler up with the edge of the grey board, and then I will mark 1.5 centimeters there, but also, whoops, if I keep it straight, this is me trying to hold it to show you. I will also mark the 1.5 centimeters under there so that I can then draw a straight line joining that to that. And I know I need to cut along that line. Okay. Now the way I'm going to do it, you could just then measure another centimeter. I'm going to go the other way so that I can get both of them marked out, and then I will cut then. So this second one needs to be 1 centimeter. So I'm marking here and I'm marking here. I've done quite a wide line there, so I need to remember to see the inside bit. And again, I'm going to join those 2 up. All right. So now, when I was drawing, I was using this edge. Now I want to use the metal edge of this. I'm hoping I've got this right. That doesn't look quite. It does. It's just trick of my eye. It's just slightly not right up there because of that line. So I'm going to get my knife on here and my knife on there because that was my original line. So don't pressure when you're cutting should always be on the ruler, not on the knife. So I'm going to bring my knife down along the metal edge, and I'm going to do it a couple of times until that's now free. So this is the 1 centimeter piece, and this is going to be panel 4. So I'm going to write number 4 on it. Okay. And then I'm going to cut my 1.5 centimeter. Again, I'm going to just bring the knife down in a few motions. Now this is 6. No, it's not. Already wrong. Sorry, my apologies. This is panel 2, and then this is panel 6. All right. So we've got 2, 4, and 6 at the moment. Okay. Now this is going to be number 1. This is going to be number 3. And this is going to be number 5. So that gives us 1, 2, 2, which is the wider of the spines. Panel 3, panel 4, over a little bit, and that'll bring on the thing at 4, 5, and 6. So far we've got this bit done here. So now we need to do 3A and 3B. So I'll just move that up to the top there. So for these are your, sorry, these were your A6 boards. These are your A7 boards. Okay, so these we need to trim down, and we need to trim them down to 10 centimeters by 7 centimeters. So again, I'm just going to put my ruler there. That's 10 centimeters, and I'm going to do that on here. We'll do the 10 centimeters first, and then we'll do the 7 centimeters. I'm not going to mark the 7 centimeters on yet, because what will happen, although I could, actually I could do, what I was going to say, what will happen is the marks will disappear because I cut a bit off. But if I draw the full line like I did before, I should be okay. So let's just draw our 10 centimeters. I'm not using the pencils that I normally use, which are really fine point, because I can't honestly find them. So I'm just going to do this with a little pen dot. They are all going to be covered, so it's not going to show. I'm going to do a little pen dot there and a little pen dot there. And then hopefully that will look a little bit more even. Still going to do the pen. There we go. Let's just double check with this. A little dot there and a little dot there. And we'll join those. And then if we then mark the 7 on here, we can 7, 7. We'll join those there. And the same on here. 7 and 7. Okay, so again, we will get the making sure I'm using the thing. And I know when I did cut the first piece, I didn't do this, but the better way to do it is if you can have the bigger piece under here and the smaller piece here. Just makes it a lot steadier. One knife in there, and there. Right. That's one, and then again, remember, don't don't put the pressure. Don't put the pressure on the knife. Put the pressure on the ruler. Last one. Ooh, right. And that's another reason why the bit you're cutting off should be out there, because I slipped with my knife, and this bit doesn't matter that I've cut into it because that's discarded. Okay, let's put the knife back on there. So now, bring it down. I have 3A and 3B. So we have now got all our pieces ready, just like on the diagram there. All our board pieces are now ready, and we can move on to the next part of our lap book. We are now on to page 3, which is covering the outside of the boards. Now, we will do that in the next part, but I would take some time now to think about what papers you want to use where. Now, if you've not made something like this before, it can be a little bit tricky to understand how all this comes together. So what we're looking at now is what it would be like if it was all completely opened out. Okay, so these will all be what we would call the inside of your book. And when we start covering, we end up covering the other side, which is the outside first. So we just need to take a little bit of time to work out what we want where. So if I just explain to you how this will go together. So these will be flat here, like so. So we'll see these inside as well, okay? Like so. Now, the next thing that goes in is this bit will fold in, okay? Now this bit will fold in, but this number 4 will give it a little height, if that makes sense. I'm just going to let it fall back, but this will come over here. And again, this will give us, because obviously you can see we're getting some depth here. This will give us the room because we've got a book, and this will go down like so. Okay, so this will be like your front cover. Okay, now I'm going to open that back out. So that is the back of number 1. Okay, now this is the back of number 5, and I quite think, you know, as you open the book, this is quite I'm just going to put on here the back of 5. You don't need to write these on. I'm just trying to show you what you're seeing. So then this will open out here, like so. So this is the back of number 6. And then this will open out there. And then this is the back of 3B. And then this is the back of 3A. And of course, the back of number 3 actually ends up being your back cover. Okay, back front cover, yes. So I like to take some time at this point to think about what do I want to see when I'm opening various bits of my book. So I have done a couple of things. So first of all, this is the card. We don't need those for now. This is the card for the cover of the notebook, and you can put one of the sheets of the printed paper in the front of that. So I've chosen to use that one, so I'm moving that out of the way. Okay, now if I explain how I made the decision, I decided that on my front cover, so that's the back of number 1, yeah, my front cover is the back of number 1. I want the kingfisher. That's what I want on my front cover, which will be on the back of this number 1 here. Okay, so I've written it up the top. Now, as I said, I've closed these down. I've got my 3 A's and my 3 B's around the wrong way, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. That's 3A and that's 3B. Okay. Right, so when I open my front cover, this is the next thing I'll see. Okay. In fact, no, this is the next thing I'll see. So I've decided I want to decide what I want here. Okay. So what did I decide? I went for this one. So this is going to be on this bit when I open it. But then I decided that it would be nice if this half then was there. So they're kind of 2 parts. So I've written 1 inside. And this is number 5. So this is the back of number 5. So that's where those 2 are going to go. So that's that. Okay. What did I do with my kingfisher? Oh, he's there. This is number 1. Yeah. Okay. So I also decided, we've got this kingfisher bit there. I decided that the other half of this is going to be my back cover. Okay. Right, let's get this in the right order. So this is going on my back cover, which is the back of number 3. Okay. So that's that sheet sorted. I decided to use this plain for these 2 pieces, both sides. I'm going to use those. So that's that sheet. I'm going to use this one, this half here. And then, because this will be folded in, this is going to go here on the back of 6. There. So we'll get the blue tip there looking that way and the blue tip there looking that way. Which leaves me these 2 pieces, which I've gone for this page. So they're going to be like that. Now, you don't, I get a bit picky when I want, I'm trying to work out my things. You don't need to be that picky. Okay. Now I have written on the backs of these, but it's really important. These are the main focus. So that in the instructions, when it says on the back of number 1, because basically when you're putting this together, after you've put the first lot of covers on, you still need to see these numbers. All right. So we're going to cover the other sides first, which is our next step. Okay. Right. So papers are chosen. So our next step will be covering the outside of our boards. So we are now on this part of covering the outside of the boards, and I've gone a little bit ahead, and I've done number 1 and I've done number 3. So number 1, remember that's going to be my cover and that's going to be my back cover. So number 1 and number 3 I've done, but I'll show you now exactly how we cover these. So if you look at Janie's instructions, it says you need to make sure that when you're covering the boards, you're leaving 1 centimetre of paper all the way around. That's these bits to wrap round, and that when we do the corners, we cut the corners, but we leave a little bit here. She says 1.5 millimeters, but as long as it's not too much. and that allows you to get these, if I can, don't know if, can you see it's a nice clean corner, nothing sticking out or poking out. That's what helps with that. And the other thing it says is to cover the side that doesn't have your numbers marked on. So here I can still see my number 1, I can still see my number 3. So we need to do that now for the rest. So I'm just grabbing the papers. So I'm just looking, and I've written on this one, remember when I went through earlier, this is going to be the back of number 5, which is what I need to do now. I don't want to do this bit, I need to do the back of it. So I've got that for number 5 and number 6. And I've got this bit here for the back of number 6. So we'll just put the rest to the side for the minute. Okay, so let's do the back of number 5 first, because that's the bigger bit. I am going to, no, I'm not. I'm going to cut off 2 of the white sides. I'm not cutting off the top one because I have, I've got it written on there what I want. I mean, in theory, I could write it on the back. But I'll leave it on the top for the moment. So here I've got 5 back off. That's what I'm looking at for now. I want this on the back of number 5. So now when I did this one, I did kind of look through the paper. If you've got a specific image that you want on the piece of card, then just see if you can sort of look through, do a very light pencil sketch on the back, and then you can see where you want to place it. Now I'm not too bothered now with these. All of this is fine for me. So I'm just going to, when I stick it down, I'm going to give myself, I'm going to put that there. It's very easy to get yourself turned around. Up here, I've got number 5, the back of is on this side. As soon as I flip the paper, it's over here. And I must remember that this is the edge that I want. Now, because I'm going kind of into that corner, I am going to mark roughly 1 centimetre, which is 2 of these grid lines. I'm just going to roughly mark it there, and similarly across there. So I know when I place my board, I'm going to go into that bit. Now, if you have a specific bit, maybe the image is here, so you, let's say I've drawn a little whatever it is through, then I would place my board there, draw round it, and then mark my centimetre to know that I've got it in exactly the right place. Okay. When I do the, I don't know if there's another one I want to do, but that's the idea. Then I would know I would get that particular image in the right place. So with this, I just need to go into the corner. So I'm going to get my glue. I'm using Janie's paper bindery glue, and I've got the silicone spatula. You can see I'm already making a mess, which is usual for me. And remember, I don't want to be gluing on the bit with a number. I need to turn that face down, hopefully find a non-gluey bit. And I'm going to put my glue down onto the back here and put the lid on. And then I'm going to spread my glue nice and quickly. I have undoubtedly got too much glue on here. You don't really need this much glue, but I'll make sure I've got everything covered. So I've got the glue on, put my piece of paper back on. I've got my mark here. So I might just come in just a little bit just to make sure I've given myself enough wiggle room, and place it down there. And then I'm going to get my foam folder. And you really want to be pushing out from the middle to the outside, so that you get rid of any air bubbles. Okay. Now, what I need to do now is on this side, to mark, and I'm going to give myself just a little extra wiggle room down there, and the same here. There. Oh, did I actually draw anything there? I don't think I did. There. Okay, and I'm going to use my in fact, I am going to won't no, I am going to do it along there. Okay. So with the metal edge of the ruler, so I'm going to cut down there, and I'm going to cut down there. And so with the corners, you need to make sure you leave, Janie says it's sort of 1.5 millimeters. So as long as you are leaving a reasonable amount, you know, sort of, you're looking maybe kind of here. Now, if you want a reasonably straight line, then you can use these lines on your board. You don't want to leave a huge gap because then you get kind of folds. I'm going to go there. And this is just roughly so I get more of a, like the 45-degree angle on the edge of the board rather than sort of like cutting from there to there. But, you know, it's not of great significance if you don't get them quite right. So as long as you have that gap, that's really all we're kind of looking for. So I'm going to cut there, 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 there. Okay. I am then, I'm going to just fold these over. Okay. So I've already got those kind of pre-creased. Now you can see in the corner here, you've got this little dent bit, and I'll show you what you need to do with those when we get there. So I'm just going to put a line of glue across there and a line of glue across there, and just use my spatula just to spread it in enough. Like so, and like so. Now, what you need to do is just to bring those little bits round. Okay, just want to push them around and down. Can you see that now they're kind of like there? Make sure that there and there. So that when you fold these over, now you've got a really nice crisp corner. So we're going to glue across there. It's down. Like so. And then pull that over and pull that over. So we've got nice, neat corners. So that's the back of number 5 done. And I'm going to go ahead and do number 6. You don't need to watch me do another one, but I will come back. I will show you how to do these 2 bits so that we get them right, and also about these 2 bits. Okay. So that's piece 6 covered. And now what we need to do is 3A and 3B. Now I'm going to line number 3 down there because I want to put these like this. Okay. Now at the moment we're covering this one, which needs to be up this way, and we're covering this one, which needs to be up that way. Okay. So they need to face that way. So if you have a directional thing, let's say, for example, you were using the blue tip here, you'd want the blue tip to be that way up. All right, so make sure you know which way up these two bits are going to be showing on this side, because obviously it's different there and there. Okay, so lie piece 3 down, 3A and B above and below. Fold them over like that and put your arrows on so that you know which way up they're going to be. Okay, so I'm going to use this, wasn't this one? What was the one I was going to use? Bear with me, I'm sure I wrote it down. This one, that's the one I wanted to use for these pieces. I mean, it doesn't make a huge amount of difference. Now, looking at these, they're not a particular direction. Janie's got some that way, some that way. So I'm not going to worry too much about the direction. So I'm going to take off all the white edges with my trimmer. So, oops. And because it's not got a particular focus or a particular direction, I'm just going to turn it over. I am going to draw myself, and I'm doing just a little bit more than a centimetre. I just like a little bit more wiggle room there, and there, and up here as well, like so. So I'm going to stick one there and one there, but not that way round, because I need to see my numbers, but I am going to stick them that way. So I've got them up. So I know that they're going to be the way around that I want them. Okay. So remember 3B will be there. So it's going to be there, and 3A will be there. Oops, 3A will be there. Sorry. So it's going to be that way. Okay. So we're going to stick those down and then draw my lines around and cut those out, and stick those in just the same way as I have done before. Okay. So we're going to put the glue on this side of each of these. I'm going to do one at a time, because what we don't want is the glue to dry out. So this one, and then my piece of paper, and I'm going to put, so keeping it up that way. I know it needs to be up that way, so I'm just flipping there, ignoring the fact that the 3A at the moment looks like it's upside down. That's not relevant. Okay, so then I'm going to put the glue on here. Like I say, for the paper I'm using, because it's a multi-directional pattern, it doesn't really matter, but I'm showing you this in case you want to use a particular directional pattern. So this one, I've got the arrow going up and turn it that way, again ignoring the fact that 3B says it's upside down. Okay, so going to make sure I've got these stuck. Then I'm going to mark my one this side, and in fact I'm just going to get my, because I'm going down the whole of the piece of paper there. Okay, and then I'm going to mark my centimetre of that one. And I'm hoping that I have about a centimetre of that one. Yay! Just works. Just works then on that length of paper. And I'm going to cut through the middle there. Okay, not particularly straight, but it doesn't really matter at the moment. Okay, so just like before, on this one, I'm just going to wing it with this. I didn't do so well on the last one, but we'll see. Just to show you that you can kind of just wing it there, there, and there. And then the same on this one, there, 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 and there. This side looks a lot more than a centimetre, but it's not going to make any difference, so I'm not going to fuss about cutting it off. So what I'm going to do now, I'll do one on camera so that you can see. So I'm just going to put the glue on the top and the bottom with my spatula, just going to spread it out, and then fold these over. Now I forgot to fold them, pre-fold them, but that's not going to make hopefully too much difference. Okay, and then I'm going to push these corners round there and push that around there and there, and then we're going to put the glue across there and there. Like so, and then that's 3A done. Okay, now I'll do that one in a moment, but I'm just going to talk to you about these now. I am not fussed or what goes on here because it's not really going to be much of an issue. So I'm going to, this is a scrap. It's possibly not quite a centimetre, but it doesn't matter. So I'm going to use that scrap to cover this one, and I'll just do it in the same way. I'll glue that down. I might trim that a little bit, cut the corners, etc. And then for this one, just thinking how much width I need when I do these again. Probably not enough width to do it there. So I'm going to take off enough from this one. This I've got is going to be an inside piece, so it's going to cover there. So I only really need it to there. So I've got plenty of room to play over here. So I'm going to my ruler, so I don't take off more than I need. I'm going to mark myself. The thing is, if I did a whole, I will do. Please, if you have a whole centimetre, it's going to overlap. So I'm not going to do quite a centimetre on there. Lay you down. Roughly. So with these, I'm not being quite as accurate. I'm just giving myself enough paper to play with. So let's just cut that piece of paper off there. So if you've got other bits of scraps that are big enough, then use them. But yeah, I'm not going to cut into another piece. So I'm going to cover these two, and I'll finish this one off, and then we'll be back for the next step. I've squared off as best I can this piece of fabric, and it's the right length, and I've just marked off the individual bits for that I need. So I'm just going to cut those. And I'm using the metal edge ruler again, but I'm using a rotary cutter to cut my pieces. So this piece will be for part 2. That piece, that's right, slightly small. That's piece 4, and then I need another piece here. This piece will join panel 5 to panel 6, and then I need another 2, and these are to join the 3A and 3B, 2, 3, but these are too long, so I'm going to cut those down in a sec. We are going to join these parts now. So I have piece 3, and I'm going to put that so that my printed side is up. I have piece 3A and piece 3B, and I'm going to try and position them so they're kind of centered, if you like. So you've got a little bit of a gap around, and then I'm going to take a little piece of low tack tape, if I can find the end of my low tack tape, little cutter thing that's come off of this, so it's not much use anymore, and it, like now I cannot find the end of my tape. Oh, there we go, there's the end. Right, so I'm going to take a piece of the low tack tape, and I'm going to just stick them there, so they're together, and then I'm also, just for making sure they don't move, I'm going to put a piece around the back there, and a piece, making sure I've still got them nicely lined up, piece around the back there. Okay, so that's just so that they stay in the right place while we fix the these little pieces of fabric on. So what I'm going to do, you need to make sure we're going to stick them on here, so the glue needs to go on here, and then it's going to go round and stick on the back here as well. Okay, so I get my glue, and I'm going to give myself some glue along here, and just spread it a little bit on here, and then oops, I'm just going to start just by gluing that on there. Okay, and I'm going to turn it round, and I'm going to do the same. Oops, what I don't want to do is get glue down there. That is because I don't want that to glue to that. So we're going to put a little glue along there. With that. and then put the piece of fabric on that one. Okay. Now I'm going to turn it over. Now, as you can see, this isn't quite as wide, so don't put glue all the way to the edge. So I'm going to just put some glue along there. Spread it down. Should we get enough? The depth of the fabric. I have just gone a little bit too far, but rather that than not enough. Okay. And then I'm going to turn that round. And again, glue along there and spread it down like so. Okay, I'm just going to put that to one side now to dry. The next part is to assemble all of these pieces using the fabric. So I'm going to use a similar kind of technique to this, in that I'm going to stick, it's going to stick these two pieces. So I'm going to put them like this, and then put a little bit of glue there, just so that I know, oops, sorry, out of picture there. So I'm going to, these two pieces are going to hinge on this piece of fabric. So I'm going to stick the fabric there first, and then turn it over and stick it on the other side. And I feel that way, for me, I will then know that it's got enough room to fold. So let's put a line of glue along there, and just getting my, oops, excuse me, spreading. Now, you don't want it to be too close to the edge, but you don't want it to be, you know, so far in you've not got enough fabric to go over. So I'm pressing that down, and I have sort of kind of overrun a little bit with the glue, but it won't matter too much. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn that over, make sure those two are lined up, and I'm going to put another line of glue here. Again, just spread it out enough. So, and then just bring this over, stick like so. There you go. I haven't put enough glue up this end, so we're just going to put a little bit more glue there, just for that to stick down. Okay, I'm going to leave that for a moment there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this bit here. So it's a similar thing, but what I'm going to do first is I'm going to stick this. This is number 2. So I'm going to stick this down. We're going to get very sticky fingers now, having just been and washed them to get rid of a lot of the sticky. I'm now all sticky again. So I'm going to stick that bit down there. And give that a second, and I'll stick this one down at the same time. So you're gluing on the back, where you can see all the joins. So I'm just going to put that one down as well. Okay. So now I'm going to do, this one's not quite so easy because this is not folding straight together. We need this, we need about 1.5 millimeters. So roughly just so you can see the fabric is really what we're after. Gives it a little bit of flexibility. The depth is provided by this. Okay, so you're not having to worry about spacing them out. It's this provides the depth. It's just getting them correct on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a small amount of glue on the edge. May not be exactly how Janie would advise you do it, but this is what works for me. So that one's on there, so I can see the fabric, so it will fold. See, it's not dry. It's best not to do that while it's still wet. So we'll leave that one to dry, and then I'm going to do the same now. I'm almost did that one wrong. Right, let's take that off. Okay, so that. Oh, no, it's that way. I was thinking, what have I done here that's so wrong? And I have got these. Have I got these around the wrong way? It's that way. 3A is there. I might have put those on the wrong way when I did it, but because I've used a non-directional, I will get away with that. See, I think I've done these wrong. Maybe not, because they're on the inside. No, that's right, they are on the inside. No, all right. For just some reason I seem to have got those round the wrong way. Not to worry, it is something to watch out for. I must have got my arrows wrong when I showed you earlier. I will have a think about that, and if I can work out where I went wrong, I'll put it in the description at the end. So this one is going down here. So open those up so that I can get a good push down like so. Okay, so then we'll give that one a minute. This one is now looking good. So we're going to put this one here. Like so. And then I'm just going to fold those over. I'm going to put a little bit of glue along this one here. I'm mulling over why the 3A, 3B thing is upside down. It's going to annoy me now, and having told you what to do earlier, I want to make sure that I'm giving you the right information. So I will ponder on that. Okay. So that's all still drying for the moment, and it's best to leave it to dry. But you've got the idea at the moment. So these fold in, this one folds in, this one folds in, and then this one folds in. So that gives you your pocketbook. As you can see, I've got to let it dry a bit more. But while that's drying, then what you can do is actually, sorry, it's this 3 thing that's getting me again. Actually, this will be fine because I know that was the right way up. I'm pretty sure that's the arrow way up. And it doesn't matter about these two because we're going to cover those now anyway. So I'm pretty sure it's okay. I will double check, and if it's not, I will let you know. So now I need to cover these. And it's a case now of if you've already chosen your papers like me, I know what I'm doing. I'm just going to mark. This is how I do it. I tend to mark on the paper just inside. I do it by eye. I don't often do these kind of things measuring when I'm matting and layering, that kind of thing. So I'm going to cut this one. Like so. So that'll go on there. All these bits, all these bits that I've cut off, even some of the corners, I'm keeping hold of because they'll always work for paper snippets or for a bit of collage or some clusters. So don't throw those kind of things away. So then I'm just going to do the same here. I'm just going to mark there and there. Down that long bit, so we've got a nice long scrap there. There, so those are for there. I'll just show you one more. So this, I've got here 3 for the inside. So this is for the inside here. And so this is the bit I want. So I'm going to just look. What I'm looking at is the grey, where the grey board is, and just sort of coming a little bit in from there and a little bit in from there. So you just need to continue to cut your pieces for the inside now, depending on what papers that you want to use. And so I will continue that and get these stuck down, and then we'll look at what the next stage is. This is where we're at so far. The basis of the Lapbook is now made, and this is what mine looks like. So I've used the nice big print patterns. I know Janie suggests using the smaller patterns, the repeating patterns on here, because yeah, we do cover them up, but I still do like them. And then this will open here. Okay, so the next stage in the instructions is to create the little notebook that goes in. And for that, you will need to cut out the corner pocket that's from this sheet, and you will need to score the lines. So I'm just going to do that now, and I'm just scoring down the lines that are printed on the card, and this just helps. It creates like so we fold them like this, and so that it creates a nice space inside for the notebook to sit in. So it will sit there. Okay. I need to actually fold and burnish these folds rather than just trying to bath my way through it, as I'm showing you how to do it. So it's just there, and there we go. Right, so this will sit here. Now you might be able to see, you get this little bit here. So I usually cut that off like that, and then you won't be able to see that. Have I taken enough off? Once I've got the it stuck on, it will be fine. Okay, so let's put that down, and so I'm going to put glue on here and glue on here, and then we will put that in the corner down here. So when the notebook isn't in, you'll still be able to see this lovely pattern. So I'm just going to put my ruler in to press the pieces down. Oh, come on, I'm making this look harder than it is. I just wanted to get the ruler in there to give these bits a bit of a press down, and I have a feeling my ruler was on the top of the bit of paper rather than under it. Okay, so we'll leave that to dry while we sort out the notebook. So you need to cut down the excuse me, glue on my fingers, the recycled cartridge papers, one sheet of the kind of the repeating patterns, but you know, you could use what you want. There's no major rules. And then the card cover. So they are all cut to exactly the same size. So the next thing to do with these is to fold them all and run a bun folder over. Now, you can do that by just literally putting them over like this, but I'm going to show you Janie's book hook. If you haven't seen this before, I'll just move that out of the way. It actually hooks over the edge of the desk, which is why it's called the hook. So as you can see, this bit here hooks onto the edge of your desk. So if it's on my edge of my desk, it would be there, which keeps it quite solid. But because I need you to see what I'm doing, I've moved it up here. And then the easiest way now to fold and things in half is to place it at the top. You can do it at the side if you want, but place it at the top and then use your bone folder to give it a nice crease. So that's the cover. That's kind of a pretty piece of paper. And then I'm going to do each piece separately, but you can do them all in one go if you would prefer. Same thing, push it up against here so you know then that's square. Push it up, run your bone folder across. We've got 1, 2, this is 3, 3, and 4, like so. I have 5, but 4 is enough. So we've got the 4 pieces of paper cut and folded. Just going to make this into our signature. So put those in there, and then piece of repeating pattern paper like so, and then inside the cover like so. Now you can see, because obviously when things get pushed in, that some of the papers sort of protrude out. If you don't mind that, then it's fine. If you would prefer it all to be straight, then you can trim them down. And again, the book hook is a really good way, along with the metal edge ruler. So this time you push the spine of the book to the side, have the metal edge here, and you push that up to the top, and you find your vertical line there, wherever it is you want to cut. And then again, like before, the pressure is on the ruler, not on the knife. So you're literally just going to, whoops, try and run it, unlike me, try and run it down the metal edge of the ruler. And you do that repeatedly until you have your even edge. And I feel like I'm not doing this very well. Oh, yeah. I thought something felt like it was moving. Bear with me. I'm almost there. Just seem to have got different layers not quite cut. How am I doing? No, we've still got a few there. Not to worry. I'm going to just persevere with this. There we go. I think we might have got it this time. Just a little bit of a knotty bit here. Right. Now, you now need to find that little plastic pocket, bag of goodies for the next part. Now, if you have no way of piercing the holes, then you can literally just wrap this round several times, or even a piece of ribbon or sari ribbon, and then tie it off like that. That would be perfectly acceptable. But if you want to do to actually stitch the book, then you're going to need to make some holes. I will be back. Right. To make the holes, I'm going to use an awl, brad awl, I think maybe they're sometimes called, literally to punch through 3 holes. Now, if you don't have a piercing cradle like this, which I'll show you in a minute, then you can just mark your places on here, and if you put some, I don't know, several layers of cardboard or a big layer of sponge, then you can poke them through, no problem. But I'm going to use the Janie's piercing cradle and the ruler that comes with it. So the ruler has these little, almost like a postage stamp edge, and then it has holes in the middle. So this is for piercing holes when you can line the ruler up here. If you needed to pierce holes perhaps through the middle of a spine, then you would use the center ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just use the ruler, and what I'm looking for is to have sort of an evenness. So I wouldn't want one of these little divots there, and then you see this one here would be right off. So I'm just shuffling it so it's roughly kind of centered. And then what I'm going to do is to decide. Now, I haven't got it with me, but what you can do, if I was piercing multiple signatures, if I was doing say 3, 4, 5 signatures, what I would do is I would mark on this ruler with a dry white pen. I'd mark the edge of each, and then I'd mark where I wanted to poke the holes. so that each signature I would be getting a consistent spacing of where I want them to where I want to put the holes. But I'm not going to need to do that. I'm just going to use quick pencil. We're going to go in that far from each side, and then where's the middle from there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there. So I'm just going to punch the 3 holes because we are going to be making a just a simple pamphlet stitch. So I'm going to just I'm going to put this back in, and I'm just going to line it up with the holes that I want to make. Okay, so what this allows me to do is to pierce down through the spine, straight down, like so. And then, where is the other one? That one. So remember, I'm going through several pieces of paper, and I think that one was our middle one, wasn't it? And a piece of card at the edge. So I have now, I'll put this out of the way. I have now got my 3 holes pierced through all my layers. Okay. Now I'm going to get my needle, and I'm going to thread in my wax thread, which Janie's put in the kit for you. And so it coordinates. And we're going to do a basic pamphlet stitch. And all that means is you're going to start in the middle, put the needle through to the outside, leave a tail. You're going to come back in through here, this end, like so. Don't pull that through. You're going to go back out, woo, back out that end. Now, you need to keep this reasonably tight, and then you're going to come back through here, trying not to end up going through, sort of like splitting the piece that you've already done. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a pull like this. And what you need to make sure is that one piece is this side of the center, and the other piece is the other side of the center. So when you pull to tighten, you always pull in the direction of the stitch. So that's why we pulled there. Now we're going to tie the knot in the middle. Like so. It's as easy as that. And then I think I've just knocked my needle. No, I haven't. I've knocked something on the floor. Who knows what it is? Just going to cut those off, and I'm just going to tuck them under, like so. You can have them shorter if you want. And then that is your notebook completed. And this will fit into the little space here. Okay. And we'll look at decorating later. Let's try and get the rest of the assembly done before we start decorating, although I think we might almost be there anyway. So we now have we've got some pockets that we can put on, and it really is, I think, a case of there is a guide as to where Janie would put them, but you don't have to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all of these out, the pockets, the tags, and the little plaques, and then we'll come back and we'll look at how I am going to put these things in, and I might add a little bit extra at the same time. Okay, I have been doing a little bit of fussy cutting. I cut out all the bits from the card sheet, the tags, those kind of bits. I've started cutting some of the words, some of the butterflies, and I'm just beginning to kind of make decisions on what I'm going to put where. So I don't think I'm going to put anything else on the front because I like my Kingfisher. So except for the two book corners, the MDF book corners, and then on my book, I'm thinking of putting Be Curious. I may put something on there, but I quite like that as it is, so we'll see. So that's that. So I am looking at probably putting that or maybe something else, I'm not sure, something on there, and possibly this in here with the little MDF thing, and I've got a couple of pockets, so I'm going to put this little the blue tip pocket in here because it fits with that, and then the little tag, sorry, move it up a bit, and then the little tag will sit in there, so that will then fold over, and I'm thinking of putting this is another of the pockets. I'm putting that in there, so it will sit like that. Another of the pockets here with a couple of the tags, and then on this end I didn't I'm thinking of using some of the card that was left from this cover to create a flap, but I am still, still not 100% sure exactly what. The other thing I will say, what I will be doing, if I'm using this for the flap, and on the backs of here, I will use some of the paper that's left over to cover the backs, because I'm not a great fan unless of having them plain, unless I'm putting like a journal tag or something like that. But for these, I want them covered. So I'm going to get on and do those bits and pieces, and then we'll come back, see where I'm at, and then we'll look at making the dangle for the side. The decoration is done as far as I'm going for the moment. So just have a quick show of what I've done. So I put the two of the MDF book corners on. I haven't used the other two because I didn't feel like I wanted to on this particular Lapbook. So it opens out, and I've got my notepad in there, and I put this is one of the things from the sheet with the tags on, one of the fussy cut butterflies, and one of the words, so Be Curious. I haven't put anything on here, but I might well do. I could put another pocket on, but for now I'm leaving that as it is. This then opens out to here, and I've used some more of the words and things here. And then it opens out. I'll put one of the pockets here, a couple of the tags, some of the words and sentiments. I made a little flap there, and I put another of the pockets here with a tag. And that one folds down. The pocket with another tag here. And then the tags I did cover the backs of, so that you can see both sides. And this one lifts up here. So now what I've done is I've cut a small piece off of the sari ribbon and 3 of the threads. These are just to put in my tags. So I think I might put the and I've already punched the holes through. So I'm just going to thread these little bits through. I mean, if you have other little bits of ribbon or fibers, then you can always use those. I'm just trying to use just what's in the actual kit. I think I use this one here. Like that. Oh, has it gone through? Nope. Fat fingers today. Try that again. That's through. Is it going through? It's gonna mess me about now that I'm trying to do this. There we go. That's the end that goes through. Right. Now let's open this out. It's being a fluffy little mess, this one. Let's open that right out. Make sure I get both bits through. There we go. That's that one. Let's put that down for a minute. And then I'll also put this little green bit. I'm going to put this little pink bit in here. There's another one that's going to be tricky because it's all fluffy. Put through, there we go. And well, no. It's when you get all these little lovely fluffy fibers on them, and then you're not really sure what you're pulling, and you pull the wrong bit, and you end up in a pickle. Right, done it again. Do you know what? I'm just going to tie that over there instead. There we go. That'll work as well. So that's that one. Here forever otherwise. And then I've got this little bit of that from the green to go through this one. You see, when it's not all fluffy, it just goes straight through. No problem whatsoever. Right, so I'm just going to close all of this up for now. And we're just going to use the bulb pin. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to put this through. So this is just on the fabric. Get it to go through. Bear with me a minute. Gone through far enough. You'll bear in mind that you have got a bit of cardboard behind this. So you're literally just trying to find the fibers rather than going through. There we go. That's in now. Right, so I've got my bulb pin in. I'm just going to take that out for a minute while I'm faffing around. So this is quite a thick piece of lace. So we'll see how we go. Now I don't really want it dangling much further than that, so I'm going to tie that for the minute. In fact, I'm not going to take, because if I tie it, then the others would just end up not hanging quite nicely on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it about there, and then this will go in my scrap lace. So where are my others? I've got 1, 2, 3 other things to push through my bulb pin. Those are through. Push it down. You can tie it all onto the bulb pin before, but sometimes I then, as you see, it's not always easy to get your bulb pin through to affix it. So yeah, I'm going to do that. Right, so now I'm just going to tie, not sure what that was over there. I'm just going to tie this in a nice little knot. And there I have my dangle. Now you can add beads to it, but as I said, I'm trying to just stick to what is in the kit. And then I would finish by tying my sari ribbon around my lapbook. I'll probably push it down a little bit so that my lovely little kingfisher is visible. Okay, so that is the lapbook. So let's just open it up and have a proper look through. So inside we've got the notepad that we did the pamphlet stitch in, and these beautiful papers. Then this piece opens out again. Like I say, I've not done anything here, but you could add another thing in. You see my materials fraying, but actually that makes it look quite nice. So I do tend to pull them off. Anyway, so this then opens out. We've got a tag in here in the little pocket, which then folds down. Another pocket with another little tag in. Sorry, I'll move the camera down a bit. And then this bit up the top that opens up. I mean, this is not how you'll see it in Janie's, but you know, this is it's your lapbook. Make it how you want. Two more tags in there, and then I made a little flap here. Okay, so that is how to make Janie's A6 springtime pocket lapbook, I should say, sorry. So hopefully that will help you if you were having a little bit of difficulty with the instructions. Yeah, if you have any questions, just pop them below in the comments, and then I will, as I see them, I will try to answer them. Okay, thank you for joining me.